Hi, welcome back to Dish by RMU Culinary, a weekly installment where we show you delicious food. My name is Chef Brad with the Institute of Culinary Arts at Robert Morris University in downtown Chicago. On this week's episode, I'm going to show you how to make sushi. It's one of the skills we teach our students in our seafood class, and it's a really fun class for our students, and everybody always asks me, how do you make sushi? So we're going to show you today. It's very simple. It starts with a couple of very simple ingredients. We've got sushi rice. Sushi rice is made from a short grain rice, so it typically has a little bit more starch already in it, which makes it sticky itself. But we're going to add a few other ingredients just to help flavor it. I've got 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of mirin, which is a seasoned rice wine, and I've got a teaspoon of just plain white sugar. We're going to mix this together. And then for the sushi we're making today, I'm going to be using some sushi grade ahi tuna. Whenever you're making sushi with raw seafood, and not all sushi is made with raw seafood, by the way, but when you are using raw seafood, you want to make sure that it is sushi grade. And what happens with sushi grade seafood is not only is it really high quality, but instead of it being cooked, it's frozen to a really low degree to kill any parasites or bacteria that might be found in the seafood. So it's important that when you do make sushi at home that you go to your supermarket or your seafood monger and purchase sushi grade tuna or salmon. So we've got some nori paper. This is just a regular nori maki roll that we're going to be making. This is seaweed, and it's roasted nori seaweed or nori paper. So we're going to put it on a sushi mat. I've lined the sushi mat with some plastic wrap, and that's just going to make sure any of the kernels of rice don't get stuck in the grates between each of the bamboo sticks. So one of the tricks that I use when I'm making sushi is I have a bowl of cold water, and it's just going to help prevent the rice from sticking to my hands, because it can get really, really sticky because of the starch content, but also the sugar and the rice wine that we added to it. So you see it's already sticking to my hands. So I just keep dipping my hand into some cold water. And clean hands are always your best tool in a kitchen, and you want to make sure that they are clean. So we're going to be pressing the rice down on the nori paper. How much rice you use depends on how much filling you're going to be adding to the sushi or to the center of your nori maki roll. You want to make sure that there's enough rice to wrap entirely around whatever your filling is. Not enough rice is not going to really seal the sushi roll up very well. So I've got some sushi grade ahi tuna. We're just going to put 1 strip down the center. Don't worry about if anything hangs out the end. We can trim that off later. I've got some julienne cucumber. So we're going to put a few pieces of that down. And I've got some julienne red bell pepper, which is going to add a really nice color to the roll itself. You want to make sure that it does go the whole length. Again, if there's some sticking out, we can trim that off. Now, when it comes to rolling, you want to use the mat to your benefit. So the first thing I do when I roll it is I hold all of my filling together, and I'm going to roll the whole sushi over, and I'm going to pull back. You want to get it really tight. If your sushi roll is too loose, when you cut it, it's just going to fall apart. So you want to roll it and then pull back so it's really tight. And then you're going to roll it over again and just pull back on the sushi mat. Make sure that you get a really nice, tight roll. And what we're going to do is transfer it over to our cutting board. We're going to trim off this excess nori. Okay, and anything that's hanging out our end. Now what I like to do is I like to return my sushi to the mat just to roll it to get a nice round shape to it. Okay, and now when you cut it, you need a really sharp knife, and we're going to cut it in half. We're going to get 6 rolls out of the sushi, and we're going to cut each half in half. and then in half again. So then when we flip it over, we've got a really nice uniform sushi norimaki roll, okay? So then to present this, we've got pickled ginger. I've got some wasabi paste, and I made a spicy mayonnaise, which is one of my favorite dipping sauces for sushi. I know it's not entirely traditional, but it is something that I really enjoy. And it's just mayonnaise and sriracha and a little soy sauce as well. So we're going to present our sushi. Usually the two end pieces are left for the cook in the kitchen, but this is our tuna norimaki roll with spicy mayo and pickled ginger. For this week's episode and recipes, please visit robertmorris.edu/dish. We'll see you next week.